Welcome. Welcome to live stream number 2. If you watched the last live stream, I streamed it directly from my phone, all on my phone. This time though, it's a little bit different. We're streaming on my PC this time. I've got OBS open. Right, we're gonna be building a PC mostly from parts from my old PC. There's only a few parts I bought new to add, but we're gonna be starting off. Is that the Chicken Man? Yes, it is. Chicken Man. Is that bacon? Alright, so we have here a Ryzen 5 5500. Six cores, 12 threads. This is about the most budget of a processor I would go. It's the meta right now. And the GPU combo we've got paired with this is the RTX 2060. This is an older card, but I did not buy this one used, or I didn't get it in 2019. This one was bought brand new 2025 from a company called Payer on Amazon. Chicken Man has made famous by Rumi's signs. Rumi's lullaby. Yes, I know. That's got the 6 million views. That video is carrying my entire channel. I've thought about uploading another one, that video, but that's actually my least effort video out of all of them. And I wanted to do more tech and alright, next up we have here ASRock Pro-850. This is gonna be the most overkill for this system. We definitely do not need 850 watts, but this was the best value because it was on sale, $20 off. It's only about $5 more per 100 watts. So the 650 watt was $50. The 750 watt was $55, and then the 850 was $60. So it just made perfect sense to go with the 850 watt. Because it's only $10 more for 200 watts. So that just kind of seemed like a no-brainer. Now for the motherboard, we've got the MSI B550M Pro-VDH Wi-Fi. Just a simple budget motherboard. Now for RAM, this was, of course, one of the more expensive ones for the current market. But I've got here 16 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz PL16 RAM. G.Skill Trident Z RGB. This is gonna allow me to be really versatile with the aesthetics of this build. So I waited until there was a good deal for an RGB kit on PC Part Picker, and I ended up with this one. Then for the SSD, if you remember last stream, this is actually the exact same one. So what happened with this one is I got a faulty one. So I had to buy a separate SSD for that last stream. And then I RMA'd this one and they sent me a brand new one. So I've got this Gen 3 NVMe at 512 gigabytes, half a terabyte. And then for the case, we're doing another meta decision. I chose the Lian V100 Mini, which is the same case that I'm using on my own PC. See, we've got here my PC right here, Lian Vector V100 R Mini, and then the PC case that we're going to be building with right here is also the Lian Vector V100 R Mini. Let's just get started then. Motherboard prep. Meta 407, hey. Oh, welcome. Now this motherboard was the one that I used to have in my build. I swapped it out for the refresh, which is the Pro-VDH Wi-Fi. It's basically the exact same motherboard, but just with a few quality of life. So now I get to use this one for the stream right here. This is about an $800 PC. Did I get this board on Amazon? Yes, I did. So it's actually, I'm pretty sure it's the #1 bestseller on Amazon. It's pretty cheap. It's usually, you can find it for less than $100, and it's just everything that you could possibly need for a budget build. In my opinion, it's one of the best boards you can get because it just has so many features. and it has such a clean aesthetic. Yeah. But a 407, pretty good build you got there. Thank you. Alright, let's get the CPU. See here, we've got Ryzen 5 5500. Pretty meta latch, and then the triangles. This is too dark, I cannot see the triangle. I need some more light. That's better. Alright, here we go. What is going on? What am I doing wrong? It is not latching in. There we go. Wow. I don't know why that was so difficult. Line up the pins. Never happened to me. Alright. That's fine. Alright. Now, in order to save some money, I've just got the stock cooler here. Side corner symbol arrow, check again. Yeah, looks like I feel like I'm seeing multiple triangles on here. I think now that I've got it aligned, I can wiggle it around. I wasn't wiggling around anymore. Alright, yeah, I just wasn't wiggling it around enough. This, a budget build or your first PC? This one is a budget build, so I'm going to be selling this on Facebook Marketplace. Basically, I've been doing some incremental upgrades like the motherboard to my own PC. Some bigger upgrades like my graphics card. And so I've gotten enough parts from upgrading my PC that I'm able to build an entire other PC, and then I'm gonna configure it and sell it on Facebook Marketplace. Meta407 says, I got a PC recently and I just placed the PSU now, but Yeah, cable management is maybe one of the most difficult parts of PC building. My main PC specs. Right now I've got an RX 9070 XT, Ryzen 7 5800 XT, Phantom Spirit 120 ARGB, Lian Vector V100R, MSI Pro VC Wi-Fi, and Context 850 watt. It's pretty good. Did I give you my number? I don't know. Alright. This right here. Really excited about this. This is the first time I'm using this toolkit to build a PC. This is the Zool, a play on the word tool, Zool. 201 precision screwdriver tool set. This thing I'm going to be using for all my repairs, teardowns, building. I think it's super nice. Because not only do we have all these bits right here for standard that stuff, but then we also have these humongous bits over here for the bigger screws. This, of course, is a budget build. So, we gotta save money. And one of the ways that we're saving money is by using this right here. Stock cooler that comes with the CPU. So first we gotta take out these default these things. I know there's some stock coolers that just latch right onto these, like the one that came with my 5800 XT, like a Wraith Prism. But for the Wraith stock, it's no screws. So yeah, one of the issues about this is it does in fact block the DIMM slots. This one right here, it blocks this first RAM slots, and it's because they had to make it so low profile that it's wide. So you'll notice like the one that's slightly up from this stock cooler, it's the Wraith Spire. It looks very similar to this, but it's taller instead of wider, and because of that, it doesn't block first DIMM slot. But yeah, the Stealth blocks the first DIMM slot. Alright. Get some thermal paste. I did buy a gigantic tube of MX4, but before I use that, I've got to use up my older 1-gram tubes of thermal paste. Got here some Gentle thermal grease, 1 gram. Also got spatula, because we're going to be doing the manual spread method for this build. You can do a P, you can do an X. We're going to be doing the manual spread, because this is a low viscosity. If you get a high viscosity paste, like the MX6 from Arctic, it's viscous spread, man. Why did you decide to go with a 120mm AIO? For my build? It's not an AIO. It is a air cooler. It's the Phantom. It's a dual tower air cooler. Yeah, a 120 would, yeah, that would not be powerful enough to cool a 5800 XT. So I just got a dual tower cooler, right? It's pretty good though. It's rated for like 280 watts. My CPU is only 105, so I always do my RAM before cooler. It's just easier, and reading the numbers for which RAM slots to use is much easier. Yeah, that's true. Maybe we should do cooler first. I mean, RAM sticks first. I have my slots memorized, so I don't need to see the numbers, but let me get my unboxing. One of the most expensive parts of this whole piece, the RAM. This is a pretty good kit. Got all these badges. Alright, there we go. This is a pretty tall kit. It's pretty tall. And from the actual module, it's super tall. So this wouldn't work for a cooler that goes over top. But since we've just got the stock cooler, it'll work just fine. My first time using a G.Skill kit. I almost went with the rip jaws, but very shiny. It looks silver. Pretty sure it's not supposed to be silver. Got this nice little Skill sticker. This is very expensive right here. This thing was like, I got it for 120, but I think these go for like more like 100. I like the finish on those brushed stainless. Yeah, these look sick. Like the Trident, like the Trident Royal sticks and the Trident Z's, whether it's RGB or not, like you can just see the grain. I think it's really cool. It looks pretty shiny. Have you ever considered going back to NVIDIA on your main PC? Yeah, I considered it. I was thinking 5070, but that only has 12 gigabytes of RAM, so I didn't want 12 gigs. I was gonna do the 5070 Ti instead, or the 5060 Ti. But the 5060 Ti is not powerful enough for what I was gonna be using. So 5070 Ti would be my only realistic graphics card to use for NVIDIA, but that's like $300 more expensive than the 9070 XT. Like $300 more. That just didn't seem worth it to me. So I just got the 9070 XT, $300 cheaper than the for an 5070 Ti, quite a bit cheaper. So, plus another thing is, I got an XFX card, and this thing is humongous, and look how clean it is. With the sag bracket, got 3 fans. This thing is an absolute beast, and I really just love the design. I really wanted an XFX card, and XFX only makes AMD graphics cards. So, if I wanted XFX, I'd have to go AMD. I think I made the right choice, the 9070. You like your Gigabyte 5070? Yeah, Gigabyte stuff. Yeah, I remember back a long time ago when I was first considering upgrading my graphics card, Gigabyte was one of the first models that I was considering with the 50 Ti. Gigabyte's got some good. Got it close to retail, thankfully. That's good. Full graphics card. Do you like PNY? Yeah, PNY is actually one of the best. Like, PNY might be number 2 for me. Their cards look incredible. Yeah, just PNY as a company, they're one of my favorite PC companies. I like PNY. May I ask, who are you building this for? No one in particular. Just somebody on Facebook Marketplace or somebody locally. I'm gonna be selling it locally. Just somebody that wants like a nice upgradable. This one's gonna be prime for upgrading because of the 850 watt power supply and the AM4 platform. So I'm just building this for whoever ends up buying it. Yeah, I have 2 systems with that exact board. Nothing fancy, but it does the job. Yep. It really is. It's a pretty good motherboard. It's #1 bestseller, so a lot of people would have it. It has so many features, like it has CPU. This one's CPU pump, and then it has not 1, not 2, but 3 entire PWM ports, which is quite a lot. It also has the M.2 heatsink, as well as an additional M.2 slot. Super clean. It's got plenty of ARGB headers, and it has BIOS flash, so it's a pretty good motherboard. Oh, reselling parts? Yeah, so yeah, I'm basically reselling it just so that I can make money back from upgrading my PC. Alright, so it turns out it's only the back of this stick. It's silver. The front of it, this is what's black colored. We've got the shiny black and the shiny silver. That's actually really cool. We're gonna go slots 2 and 4. Just holding this. This is a very thick. A very thick heatsink. It's a big module. All right. My PC internet isn't working and it won't let me connect to it even when I reset it. Do you think I've been hacked? That doesn't really sound like... if you aren't connected to... Be sure... I mean... I don't know, I mean... I'm pretty sure that's not a hacking thing. If your Wi-Fi isn't... If your internet isn't working. But maybe... check if your motherboard Wi-Fi or Ethernet drivers... Yeah, so go to your motherboard website. And you can just install the latest Ethernet or Wi-Fi drivers, depending on what you're using. And then... if that doesn't work, if you're using Wi-Fi, Ethernet, just like reset your Wi-Fi antenna, Ethernet, or reset your router. Unplug it, unplug your Wi-Fi router. Go back in. The only thing I don't like about it is the forward-facing ports, like the SATA ports. It's fine in a bigger case, but if you put it in a compact case, they can be unusable without an adapter. Yeah, so... I see what you're saying. So... on my board, the VC, it's got the 4 SATA ports right here, but then it has another 4 SATA ports that are side panel facing. It's got the front facing SATA ports and the side facing. So it's got 8. Yeah, some compact cases, and yeah, not just the SATA ports, but also this USB 3.2 port header is also front facing, so both of those might have problems. But for our case, the Lian Li V100R Mini, it fits. The SATA fits good. The USB 3.0 header fits just enough. Bit of a squeeze, but it still fits. Thoughts on back connect motherboards? Clean. Back connect motherboards. The Lian Li Vector V100R Mini actually supports back connect. Yeah, back connect motherboards and back connect GPUs as well. They're super clean. Next time I build a PC, I'm gonna try and get a back connect motherboard, because they're just super clean and cableless, and probably easier to cable manage because all in the back side of the case. The only issue would be if there's not a whole lot of back. I'd make sure that the back has enough clearance for a BTF card or BTF motherboard, and yeah, they're super clean. Alright. How much was the PC? It was like... let me look. I made a spreadsheet for so the subtotal for this PC, including the return merchandise authorization, shipping label for the SSD, as well as the tax, it cost me $732.83. Yeah, you'll be fine. They work nice in the bigger cases because it lets the cables lie flatter. They're good boards for no more than... Yeah, I mean... especially since you're going through the motherboard tray. That gives you more... guess you don't really have to worry about cleaning on a BTF motherboard. They're good boards. Did you get any used... Yes. The motherboard... So, all these components are less than a year used. So they're all in very good condition and less than a year used. But they are used. The motherboard, the CPU, as well as the graphics card. Those things are the only things that were used. The RAM, SSD, power supply, and case are all brand new. Alright. Do a RAM again. I put on a noise gate, so I'm just gonna remove the noise gate for 1 second. That way you can hear the RAM click. If you've ever seen Zach's Tech Turf, they do the RAM ASMR. So there's the gate down, the RAM click. That was pretty good. Another one. Gonna do slots 2 and 4. RAM click number 2. Yeah, I don't think you heard that. My noise gate is 2. Omega 1266 says hi. Your PC is good. Hello to you. Make sure all clips are seated in the notches. Yes. That's good. Alright. Let's do a wiggle test. I don't recommend doing this. That's wiggly. That is really wiggly. That one. That's super wiggly. Lola, I always hate that part. It makes me slightly anxious. Yeah, it takes a lot of force to get the RAM sticks. These are super wiggly. They're like, they feel loose and stuff. It's just how they're in good. We've got all 4. Alright, let's do the SSD next. Right here, we have a Silicon Power 512 gigabyte Gen 3 NVMe. This one is the A60 model. When I RMA'd this, it was the smoothest RMA experience I've ever had. I did a RAM RMA with Oloy, and it was not smooth. It took forever, and it was kind of annoying. But with Silicon Power, it was a really nice. Like, as soon as they received the faulty SSD, they sent me this. Like, within a few hours, they had already shipped my replacement. So I really like the Silicon Power RMA experience. I was about to say, mine on that same board do wiggle a little bit, and I've had no problems. Yeah. I mean, every motherboard, every RAM kit is going to be different. I mean, that's why Zach's Tech Turf always does the wiggle test. It's really interesting to see how RAM modules and DIMM slots from different motherboards, how wiggly they are. It's fine how wiggly it is. What's the CPU and RAM? CPU is the AMD Ryzen 5 5500. RAM, we've got 16 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz DL16 fast latency, G.Skill Trident Z RGB. The one thing I'm not a fan about is the packaging. It's impossible to save the packaging on the outside. Gotta have to rip through it. That's the only bad thing about it. We do, however, we do get to keep the clamshell though. Why does this feel so incredibly... Okay, I'm so confused now. Why are there two holes? You've got a 4500, 16 gigs and 2070 Super? You have a 4500? That's crazy. I've been trying to get a 4000 series AMD CPU, like the 4600G or the 4500G, but they just aren't available. Because that would just be the perfect one. Because we have the 5600G, which is super expensive at like 150, or the 50. And then we have the Ryzen 5 3400G, but that's really old. Doesn't have very much cache. So that's why the 46 is just perfect, but they don't sell it anymore. And then 2070 Super, good graphics card. I have 5600 32 gigs with an RX 7600 XT. That is pretty meta. Good. I mean, I don't know. 5600 is good. 32 gigs is really nice. 7000 series. Wait, you have a 5600? A 7600 XT and a 9600X? I'm a bit confused. If your CPU is the 9600X, then what is the 5600? Let's take off this. I need a new bit. Micro Center has the 5600X3D for 179. What? Wait, are you for real? They have the 5600X3D for... No way. Do they actually? Because if so, that's crazy. See if we can find 50. Yo, they do. What? When did they add the 5600X 3D? That's crazy. See, I knew Newegg had the 7700X 3D they just added. I had no idea that they added the 5600X 3D. Crazy. Yeah, only shipment to USA. I know that the 7700X 3D is only available to North America. Yeah, they're always national exclusives, those ones. Anyways, let's switch out this bigger bit with this SSD screw. SSD bit. So now we can take out the M.2 heatsink. This one has a small screw on this side, big screw on this side. Now, I have already removed the film on the thermal pad, so no need to worry about that. Now the weird thing about this guy, 2 holes. What's going on there? I'm so confused. It looks like they tacked on it to make it a 2280 size. My last A60 was not like that. Also, the heat sticker on this feels extremely thin compared to the last one I got. This is very weird. It feels a lot different than the other A60 I got. So I'm pretty sure this is only 2260, and then they tacked this on to 2280. That's very weird. Get this installed. Put it in at an angle. Put that in and put it down. Gonna get the heatsink, put that right back on. Super adhesive. Making a big screw. That in. A little bit. Get our smaller screw. Yeah, so we're gonna screw the heatsink screws on top of the heat. So with this one, you don't screw the SSD down before you put the heatsink on. The screw for the heatsink is also doubling as the screw for the NVMe SSD. Works for. We're just gonna screw it down. Sides. I have noticed sometimes if you tighten it too much, it'll actually make the NVMe bend, but I think this is fine because of how thin that heat sticker was. Right, NVMe is installed. If I buy a Best Buy pre-built, will I have to install anything? I don't think you will have to do that. Yeah, pre-builts come with everything installed. You mean like software installed? Because you won't have to install any hardware, but software? Kind of just do what you want. It should have all the drivers installed. Yeah, you don't have to install anything on a pre-built. I bought a 5600X for $90 last week on Marketplace. That's a pretty good deal. Yeah, you can get 5600 and 5600X used for good prices. Okay? People just want to get. Yeah. I actually noticed that this RAM kit was at a local chain. $90 for this. I paid $116. I could have gotten it used for $90. 2 holes is weird. Yeah, 2 holes is weird. I mean, you could actually cut off the excess from the NVMe and just screw it into the next hole, and it would work perfectly fine. There are some pre-builts that make the buyer plug in the GPU, but probably not at Best Buy. Yeah. So the reason they do that is because the graphics card is one of the most breakable things shipping. So some manufacturers will ship the graphics card in a separate box. That way it doesn't like bang around in the PCIe slots. One thing about the D100R mini case we're gonna build in today, that it has a sag bracket on the top and the bottom of the card. So you may not have to, like pre-built companies may not have to ship the graphics card separately from the PC. But yeah, yeah, you just have to put the graphics card into the PCIe slot, top slot, screw it in, plug the power cable, it's in, and you'll be good to go. The motherboard I built on was the Gigabyte B550 Eagle Wi-Fi 6. Yeah, I believe that's actually #2 seller on Amazon. Yeah, so this is the micro ATX. That one's an ATX. So that's the best seller for ATX AM4 motherboards. This one's the best seller for micro ATX. What CPU is he using? 5500. Yep. Yeah, all the specs of this PC are in the description. Let's get back to manually spreading the paste on this. Did he say that motherboard was... I don't think so. Micro. Spreading the paste on is alright, but just a P is fine on AM4. Yeah, I know. It's mostly fine to do a P. But I just wanted to do... I like manual. Manual is the first way I learned when I took computer. I was taught to do manual spread because it just ensures it's... I like manual. Anyways, we're out of thermal paste. Still some hot spot. Gotta get out another... How much did you spend on the graphics card? I got a brand new Amazon for $200. $200. It's a bit expensive, but also at the same time, not getting a new 2060. I would have gotten a used. Intel Arc A580. Never heard of that one. Very often. Mostly hear about the 580. I don't know that much about Intel Arc graphics card. You took the plastic tape off the heatsink for the SSD, I hope? Yep. Yeah, don't worry about that. I took it off. I actually took it off a long time ago when I built my PC on this one. Yeah. I probably took off the tape for this like 6 months ago. So it was a long time ago that I took off the film. A little bit more thermal. They have improved on the drivers, and it's the same performance with the 6600 RX. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like Linux, right? Linux is slowly gaining in popularity, and it's getting better with drivers. Same thing with the Intel Arc. Intel CPU. I haven't been tracking the price of them, but assume that they're compared to AMD or NVIDIA, especially NVIDIA. For your RTX build, you got a 3050 Solo for 120. Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. And especially if it was brand new. Yeah, this would have been a lot faster if I did the P. I'll just do the P method next. I'm gonna say that's plenty of thermal paste. Alright. Let's get the CPU cooler installed. So for this one, I did rotate the shroud 90 degrees, so the AMD logo was on the top. And yes, there is no film on the back here. Definitely no film. Just get this installed. Also gonna switch from the M.2 screw back to the regular Phillips. do a cross pattern. My Wraith cooler came with thermal paste. Yeah, this one did too. Mine came with it too. But I already used it. I already used it when I first installed this with my 5500. I already used it and cleaned it off, so we have to reapply the thermal. You guys are all talking about 1050s and 3050s. But I keep hearing about used 2060 supers. Typically when I hear about a card from about that level of performance, I'm typically thinking of the RTX 2060 Super. I never bother to rotate them myself, but people do it all the time. Yeah, I didn't do it originally, but I ended up rotating the AMD logo on both thought coolers I've gotten because OCD. The thing with the 2060 Supers or any 20 series, they are the next to lose driver support. Yeah, that NVIDIA just barely dropped driver support for like 8, 9, and 10 series. So that means the 16 series and the 20 series and possibly even the 30 series are next to lose driver support from NVIDIA. Because they did the 9, 10, and 8, 9, and 10 all at the same time lost driver support. So I would assume the next graphics card generations to lose driver support would be the 16, 20, and 30 series. Alright, this is all tight. Alright, we got CPU, thermal paste, CPU cooler, RAM, SSD heatsink. I do believe the motherboard prep is completely finished now. Look at these RAM modules, they're super shiny. They're black on this side, and then on this side they're actually silver. Which I did not know about the Trident Z, is they were silver on this side. Alright, I think it's time for the case. Let's actually swap over to case view. I've switched to Linux. Hopefully the Mesa Vulkan driver will keep the 20. Quite some. I don't know much about Linux or Mesa Vulkan, but you can definitely use even though they drop support for drivers on all your cards, they're definitely still usable way after. How much was the RAM? $16. What are these RAMs? G.Skill Trident Z RGB, 3200 MHz, 2x8. Alright. Let's just start by peeling off the film. We have here a brand new Lian Vector V100R Mini. Objectively the best value micro ATX black case. This thing's only $65. Ever need. Are you gonna resell this or not? Yes, I don't have a lot of capital, so I'm definitely gonna be selling this so I can get my money back. So then I can build another PC. That's kind of the goal thing. Get your IO chilled in. Yeah. That's the first thing you gotta do. Can't make the rookie mistake of not installing the IO shield. That is gonna be very first thing I do. Yeah, it's one of the most common mistakes to make is not installing the IO shield. The nice thing about these Lian Li cases is they come with this thing. If I can get it out. Nice case, my main rig has the V100 in white. Dude, wow. The V100 white? That thing looks super clean. The white V100? It looks so good. Alright. Lian Li includes these through organizing kits. And a nice little thank you card, which is super nice. They even got some zip ties and all the screws we could ever need. I'm confused about how some PCs like this could airflow. What do you mean by that? No bottom fans? Yeah. I've got bottom fans in my PC, but this one, we've got the 3 reverse blade fans right here. 2 glass panels? Yeah. So these 2 glass panels are not what the air is coming through. Air comes through on other places. It's probably got fans on the top, hopefully. No fans on the top. It has those large intake fans on the back. Alright, so let's clear this up. Let me show you my V100R setup. So right here, this is my case. It's the exact same as this one right here. I have these 3 fans in the back. These 3 right here. It's the exact same as these 3 right here. They are getting airflow through this mesh. You can see through the back panel into this mesh. It gets air from here. You can also see down here there's more mesh. Air goes right into here, into the power supply basement. That is where these 2 bottom fans get their air, is from the power supply basement. Both these 2 bottom fans, as well as these 3 in the back, are all reverse blade fans. They're reverse blades, so they are pulling air into the case. For feeding the graphics card. These ones are the main air supply for the entire case. Now, this is my dual tower air cooler with 2 fans. These are normal blade fans, as well as this one in the back. Also on this case. We have this fan right here in the back, exhausting air. So for this case, we only have 3 fans, reverse blade, intaking, and then 1 fan, normal blade, exhausting. And that's plenty of airflow for this case. And then over here we have these 3 fans right here, CPU cooler and exhaust, those are all exhausting. And then we also have these 3 fans up at top, It's not an AIO. It's just 3 case fans. Those are normal blade and exhausting air out the top of the case. So then we have front to back and bottom to top. Here. I'm thinking of putting it. I don't know what case to get. Well, for example, if you're getting a budget PC, ATX, I'd recommend the Montech TG3, new case, pretty good value. Or micro ATX, I just recommend this. Not theory and 2 as well. Even if the airflow isn't going in the same direction in these style of cases, at least those fans are helping with the pressuring the air inside. It doesn't need an AIO in there. No AIO? Yeah. No AIO. It's just extra fans. They help. Yeah. Cool in air and exhaust fans. Yep. Can you show me your graphics card? Yes. Right here. I just barely installed. I'm gonna make a video about this graphics card and testing it with a bunch of other graphics cards. It's the AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT XFX Quicksilver lineup. It's just got idle fans right now. But 3 fans. It's super clean. It's super nice. I really like this graphics card. It's a really clean graphics card. And the XFX logo lights up. Yeah, we're not done already. This is just my piece. Your budget's around 750. Yeah, so 750. If you're going micro ATX, I'd recommend this case right here. Right? This case? Not this one. This one. It's just the best for micro ATX at 750 budget. But if you're gonna do ATX, I'm just gonna say Montech TG3. By the way, quick question. Can't I just flip the fans instead of buying a reverse fan? Yes. That's actually what most people do. Instead of buying reverse fans, they just get regular fans and flip them. It has the same airflow. The only downside is the aesthetics, but the performance is just the same. Let's see. Yeah. What's the case name? The case name is Lian Vector V100 Mini. You can also find it in the description of the video. I've got all the specs. Lian Vision M is also pretty nice. Yeah. Lian makes a lot of great cases, a lot of great products. 11 Vision. Riv Gaming 595. I gotta go. Sorry, bye. Okay, see you. So, reverse fans are just a scam? No, reverse fans aren't just a scam. They have really good aesthetics. Like, because look, this is the backside. It's got the ugly label right there, and it has these things. So, reverse are not scam. They're just better aesthetics. Yeah, they're pretty nice. I got these 2 Dark Rock R120s, and then these 3 Dark Rock F120s, just because I wanted the better aesthetic. I mean, they aren't too much more expensive than the forward fans, but they are a little bit more expensive. Yeah. Alright. Take the back panel off. Now let's start by making sure we have the correct standoffs. So right here we have this screw standoff, and right across from it we have this standoff. And looking at the motherboard, it does not match. So we definitely need to move this standoff. Otherwise, we're gonna scratch the back of the motherboard and have big problems. That was a mistake I made when first building in this case. Got to check the standoffs. So I'm gonna make sure I don't make that same mistake again. So I just have to get a bit something like this right here. If we got the right size. Oh. Yep, that's it. We're gonna unscrew this standoff. And we're gonna move it down. Right here. Nice and tight. Now that is in the correct placement with all of our stand. Alright. Now we put in the IO shield. Alright. There we go. Now, I believe it's time to put the motherboard in. Oh, one thing we forgot to do. Again, the fan header. I need to make sure I have the right screw. My PC cart right now is 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 NVMe, Ryzen 5 5500, 550 watt power supply, Intel Arc B70 Lian Li PC case. Anything you're missing? No? You've never built a PC before. Alright. So here's my question. You're using PC part picker, correct? Because PC part picker is gonna be really good for compatibility. I really like PC part picker. Here, you got RAM, you got NVMe, RAM, storage, CPU, power supply, card kit. Pretty sure that's everything. Yeah. Just don't forget your peripherals. Make sure you got monitor, mouse, keyboard. Yeah. Yeah, Not Theory 79220's got a good idea. If you link the PC part picker build, we can look at it. Verify it. Alright. Build cores ain't good? I don't know. I've never heard of build cores. Alright. Which camera mounts? Going on in the case. Yeah, by the way, I'm literally just using this custom built Lego camera mount for my phone. So, pretty janky, but it works. Like we need a bigger aspect ratio. You know what? I think the other camera mount was actually better. It had better angles. Yeah, that's pretty difficult. I'll just tip it up then. If you're looking for advice on keyboard switches, I would recommend checking out Hippio Tech channel. I think he has a dedicated video to using switches. Right. Okay, thanks. That was the smoothest motherboard install I've ever done. Simply Proxy did use PC Part Picker. You couldn't find a good price GPU or RAM? Well, those are the two things in shortage right now. So honestly, I don't think we'll find a good price for either of those. Maybe. But those are shortage right now. Chicken Man question. Question. This case has 1 exhaust and 3 intakes, right? Correct. Who bought the RX 580? Not good in 2026? The RX 580 is old. I would not buy a brand new RX 580 in I don't think you even can. But it was pretty good back in the day. Oh wait, you're the first person who said Paroxy, right? Everyone else says Paroxe? Huh. Yeah, I mean, I just read it as 2 words. Simply Paroxy. Paroxy or Paroxy? Paroxy? For the GPU, I've got the RTX 2060, 6 GB. If you have 3+2 for intake and 2+3 AI for exhaust, is that optimal? Yeah. That should be fine. Equal. I mean, as long as you don't have more exhaust fans than intake fans, fine. Positive pressure. Did you get it from Amazon? Because that box looks like the Show Kings RX 580 from Amazon. Yes, I did get it from Amazon. If you try and get it on Amazon, you can't. It's no longer getting sold on Amazon. But no, it's a Kaer. It's a Kaer GPU. Kaer. Kaer. That's the brand. Yeah, I would definitely have more intakes than exhausts because you want the positive pressure. But if they're equal, it's probably fine. Well, it's definitely fine. But the most min-max would be to have more intake than exhaust. That way, like dust, it's harder for dust to get in. One more screw, I think. Alright, we have 1, 2, 3 at the top. Then 1, 2, 3 here in the middle, and then missing one more screw. Right here's our last screw for the motherboard. Right. Now, question, can we get this cable in better? I don't like that it's sharing with the RAM. Yeah, I don't like this. It's like hiding the RAM. Oh, that does the same thing. Here, we just did that. Can I see the box, please? Yes. Here's the box. Pretty generic. But as you can see right here, It does in fact say Kayer gaming card. And then over here, we do have the RTX 2060, 6 gigabytes of GDDR6. Got the back side. It's pretty generic box. But the graphics card itself, I'll show you. It does have the Kayer logo on it. Do you think it's okay to mix and match case fan brands? In case I don't find a reverse of this fan brand. RGB wise, don't want to mess up the aesthetics. I mean, I think it's fine. That's what I'd have for my case. I have 3 different case fan brands on my case. ASRock, Lian, and Thermalright. And it looks pretty decent. As long as you have the different groups that are the same brands, I think the aesthetics fine. If you want like super duper clean aesthetics, it's probably best to make all the fans the exact same. First blade and fourth blade. That's for best aesthetics, but just for generally good enough aesthetics, work great. It's totally fine to mix case fan brands. That case and Mobo I'ma use for my PC, lol. Yep. They're pretty meta parts right now to get. Tuck it under the AMD logo on the cooler. Yeah. I mean, I tucked it under top. You can't see it right now. I usually coil it over on itself and secure it with a tie. Yeah, best tie the RAM down before the RAM burglars come. Yeah. I've actually seen some Dell PCs that have a built-in alarm system. Like ones that you would see at school. Some of them have a built-in alarm where if you take off the case, the alarm will go off. So that's protection for stealing stuff like RAM. Okay, so it's a known name of careful with brands like that. They usually fail in a couple months. Well, I looked up Kayer, and it seems like they're actually fine. They're not like completely no name. They do have their own branding. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy from Kayer anymore, that's for sure. It was the very first graphics card I ever bought. So I'll probably not buy from Kayer anymore because they're not so mainstream, but they are fine. I've had that card for a year now, and it actually gives me pretty good performance. Is it worth to go from the Thermalright Aqua Elite V6 to the Be Quiet Pure Loop 2 FX? I have no idea. You already have 7 Be Quiet Pure Wings? Well, if you want to match the aesthetics, I'd get the Be Quiet if they have the same. I don't know about specific AIOs. I've never bought AIOs, but I think I mean, you really don't need to to a new cooler unless like getting bad temps. Yeah, it definitely is better to go with a used name brand for graphics cards. Looking back, I would have rather gotten a used RTX 2060 from like EVGA or Asus or something. But it's too late for that. I was a PC building rookie when I bought the card. Your GPU just got here? Alright. Go build it. Yeah. Why don't people just use liquid nitrogen for PC cooling? Well, first of all, it's more expensive. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. More expensive? It probably would evaporate quicker than typical liquid in an AIO. Alright, let's start on some cable management. Alright, I have a question for the chat. What kind of cable ties do you think are the best? Do you like twist ties, zip ties, or Velcro ties? I personally like Velcro ties the best because twist ties have the metal in them so they can short out motherboard. And zip ties are not reusable. And Velcro ties have the best aesthetics. So we're going to be using just Velcro ties for this build. Cable management. I was trying to install a new CPU cooler, and when I pulled the old one out, the chip came with it? Yikes. That actually happened to me on an older Intel Celeron PGA socket. That was the first time it happened to me. I haven't had that happen to me with AM4, but yeah, you just gotta twist it with AM4. With AM5, it's not a problem, but AM4, the PGA sockets, the pin grid array, you have to twist it. Yeah, it looks like we got a lot of zip ties in the... Zip ties, I mean, this case came with zip ties. Zip ties are the most common. Alright, so because we got this case with the pre-installed fans, they've got these proprietary connections. It's a bit wonky, but fine. Alright, we got USB header here. Got, yeah, this is the only system fan header we're gonna use. 4 fans. And then of course we have the ARGB header. I'll actually plug it in through here. HD audio is gonna come down and up through here. Front panel is here. And then our USB-C header is gonna come over through here. Start by plugging in the 3-pin ARGB header. We are going to turn this PC on once we finish building it. We can see the RGB. Get the USB header plugged in there. And then USB 3.0. PC pro tip. Do a round of cable management before you put the front panel. This is quite convenient. It's an all-in-one front panel. But I just plug into JFP. And we've got the audio. And lastly, we got the fan header. We're gonna plug this right into fan 1. All right. You use the bread tie on from bread loaves? Well, it's like the bread tie loaves. Those are twist ties, but it's a bit different. The twist ties that come with like the power supply. These guys right here. So yeah, it's kind of like, it's a bit different though. than the bread loaf. Wouldn't it be better quality to buy zip ties? I actually think no. Because you need to buy like flush cut cutters for zip ties, as well as they're not usable, so you have to buy new ones if you have to undo the cable. And I think Velcro's with twist ties, you just gotta be careful. You have to make sure the ends of the ties aren't touching anything. It's gonna short out. What case are you building in? This is the Lian Vector V100R Mini. Where's the front panel? I set it safely to the side because I don't want it to break. That case has tons of airflow. Yep, it does. I love MSI motherboards. Me too. Doing amazing on the build. Thank you. Bro, what GPU do you have? Do you have, like me? I have the RX 9070 XT. And then for this build, we got the RTX. When you want to upgrade or rearrange something, zip ties are a pain. Yes, I agree. We are going to be using the twist ties. Alright, with this cable, I'm just going to shove it into the basement. That's just... These... We can sort of just shove them into the basement. Less cables to deal with. Alright. I think it's time for the power supply. Is that the Vector V100 normal or mini? This is the mini micro ATX version for the motherboard. We have is micro ATX. Alright. This, like I said, absolute overkill for this build. 850 watts is more than enough. We could literally put a 5070 Ti into this build if we wanted to. It's pretty insane AM4s are still around after 10 years. Yes, it definitely is. AM4 is one of the most insane CPU sockets out there. Do you plan on upgrading this or something? That is overkill. Well, I'm going to be selling this. And so I'm going to use that to help me sell it. I'm going to be like, hey, this PC right here is in prime condition for upgrading. Right now it has a 2060, but you can upgrade this all the way up to a 5070 Ti. Very future-proofed. AM4, 850 watt power supply. Good case, like, you can do some serious upgrades with this thing. So that's going to be one of the main selling points of this when I sell it on Marketplace. Right now, your PC... Oh, thank you. Would a 3080 bottleneck a 5500? Well, that depends on what resolution you're at. Listen, if you're in 1080p, a 3080 would bottleneck a 5500. If you're in 1440p, it won't be as bad, but it's still gonna be a bottleneck. If you're in 4K, no, it will not bottleneck. So it just depends on the resolution. And how intensive the game is on your graphics card. I just joined the live, but I don't know the specs. I do have the specs in the description if you want to check the description. But we got the 5500 RTX 2060 ASRock Pro-850G, 16 gigs, G.Skill 3200 MHz, Trident Z RGB, 512D, MSI B550M. That is pretty cool. Are you gonna charge them 600 USD? Well, I bought this PC for 750 bucks. I'm gonna start at a high price. And then as time goes on, if I don't get any sales, I'll lower the price. I plan on selling it for $814.26. That's my upcharge from $732.83. That'd be an interesting test. I bet if you had the settings low enough, the 3080 would be bottlenecked on a 5500. Yeah, it's just down to your resolution, settings, and which specific game. Wait, would an Intel Arc B750 bottleneck a 5500? Okay, so if you want to know about bottlenecking, just search online. Bottleneck calculator. You can put in your resolution, CPU, and RAM, and it will calculate whether it's a bottleneck or not. That's a pretty good tool to use. I love your videos. Lol, I'm gonna subscribe. Thank you. Alright, let's open up this power supply. Very nice looking box. Alright. Check that out. Curiously bland 60 Was it hard for you to make these, especially when you're building them? Yeah. I mean, more so with parts rather than. Building PCs that hard, it did enough research. Yep. Want to run ARC cards at PCIe 4.0 or better because it only has 8? Yeah, so PCIe, if you have by 16, it really doesn't matter what generation, because there's just so much bandwidth on by 16. For example, I have my 9070 XT on PCIe 4.0, even though the 9070 XT is a PCIe 5.0 card, but I'm hardly losing out on any performance because it's forward and backward compatible, and it just has so much bandwidth on by 16. But if you have a by 8 card, that changes things, because that's half. So you're gonna have a lot less bandwidth, but you could definitely benefit from a higher PCIe generation. The hardest thing about PC building is buying and finding the parts. Yep. Alright. This smells. This really smells like brand new manufacture. See, it is extremely smelly. Not in a bad way, but this is one of the cleanest power supplies I've seen. Super clean. This looks really nice. Look at that. Got the ASRock on this side. Pro Series on this side. This is really clean. Look at the screws. I have another question. Even with modern static damage to the components, is it still worth buying an anti-static bracelet? Personally, I think it's more inconvenient to have an anti-static bracelet. It's more difficult to move. I personally think though, I think a much better thing to buy would be an anti-static mat. I think a mat a lot better. Yeah, it really doesn't matter too much. I just say an ESD mat, because you can put a motherboard on an ESD mat and it's gonna work just, but it will increase the aesthetics, and you don't have to use the motherboard box to build on. But an ESD wrist strap, that just doesn't really seem worth it to me. I probably wouldn't even. I just discharged my static electricity on a light switch screw where the right. How does this go? Like this. It goes in upside down, apparently. Right. Power supply is installed. Here's our issue. Well, this thing came off. I think we've got to redo it now. What's the difference between a 5600 and 5500? They have the same core and threads, right? Yeah, they have the same cores, same threads. The biggest difference is cache. I believe the 5500 has 19 megabytes. The 5500 has 19 megabytes of cache. Let's look up how much cache the 5600 has. $32 megabytes. Actually, that's just L3. So 35. That's the biggest difference between the 5500 and the 5600. The 5500 only has 19 megabytes of cache, whereas the 5600, that's got 35.38 megabytes of cache. That's gonna significantly help you. Like that's why X3D CPUs are so popular, is because of the cache. Cache is the one difference those CPUs, but it makes them a whole lot better. So that's what I would think about when comparing the 5500 and 50. Well, they're both pretty good CPUs. They're both great choices. Can we just reference the L3 by itself? L1 and L2 isn't worth mentioning unless it's an unusually large amount. Well, right on the box? The reason I did the full amount is because it was most convenient for me to go straight to the 5500 box. But you see right there, it says 19 megabytes of cache. And that's the entire cache. So it's just easiest for me to look up the... You can always upgrade later, yeah. If you get the 5500, you can upgrade all the way up to a 5800 X3D 10th Anniversary Edition. Also, what is cache? Cache is like... It's kind of like RAM. So, you know, you have your storage drive. Your storage drive, no matter if it's a hard drive or an NVMe, it's slow. And that is your permanent storage. And you can have the most of that. That comes in biggest capacities in storage device. Then, slightly smaller capacities is your RAM. RAM, you can't have as much of it, but it's way faster than storage. You just have less of it. And then the next thing would be L3 cache. That's faster than RAM, but you can only fit so much of it. And then L2 cache is even faster, but you have less. And then L1 is the fastest, but you have the least amount. So that's kind of what cache is. It's right on the CPU. It's like the workspace, the CPU. Yeah, I would think of cache as like... I would think of cache as like the workspace that you has. It's kind of like RAM right on your CPU. I'm just gonna have to take apart the power supply that foam pad can. Oh, looks like 2 of them came out. No wonder it was so hard to screw in. Just put them right back on though. Got sticky stuff on the bottom. There. Now this time we can make sure that this HD audio cable is not in the way this time. We install this. That way this time the foam dampening pads not come out this time. Alright, that was a lot smoother. Now our PSU is properly installed. Now let's route some cables. Alright. We have this fire hazard 12 volt high power 600 watt cable. We are not using this because we've just got a 2060. So we're gonna just hook this back here into the basement. Never see again. Then we have right here. We got SATA right here. Another SATA right here. We've got SATA. Here's our PCIe. Here's our second PCIe. CPU. The daisy chain. And motherboard. We also do not need SATA. We're just gonna go ahead and of these, group them together first. Let's cable bundle these together. Because this is in the basement, it doesn't really matter what cable type. I'm just gonna use the twist. Just bundle all these together. Just so that they stay together when we put them into the power supply basement. Alright. Then we're gonna get the motherboard. We're gonna slot that in right there. We're gonna grab our CPU cable. Put that up here. And then we need just one of these PCIe power connectors for our 2060. This one has a daisy chain. This one does not, so I'm gonna use this one. It's gonna look better. And okay, let's just tuck this into the having a lot of cables in the basement, but now this case, we're not gonna put it through one of these. Actually, I'm gonna put it in here as well. But then, if you look other side, this Lian case has this little hole right here. So you can bring in power cable card. Personally, Bland 60 y'all's favorite part when building the piece part. You know what? I'm gonna say powering on the piece, and then it actually works. When you see all the lights turn on, that's gonna be my favorite part. Besides that, screwing in the power supply. I know that sounds weird, but that's one of my favorite parts, is screwing in the power supply. I really don't like the used market because I keep getting scammed on everything I buy from there, whether it be eBay or physical marketplace. I always get scammed. Sorry to hear that. That's a lot of scammers and scalpers. Plus, they don't come with a warning. But if you end up finding a good seller on the used marketplace, there's some good deals. But yeah, you do have to watch out for those scalpers and the scammers. Yeah, okay. The board. Then and from the I think we just sort of see here. We can just do one half at a time. Go. CPU power, motherboard power, PCIe power. We're almost ready for the graphics card. Yeah, we're just about ready for the graphics card. So first, I'm gonna go ahead and configure this. This right here. This is the GPU sag bracket. Built in. This is one of the biggest selling points of this case for me. Not only this bottom, but also right here, you have this top bracket. That is just super duper convenient. Something I really like about this built-in graphics card sag bracket. super customizable. You can put it over here. Raise it up. Get this screwed in. Alright, are we ready for the graphics card now? I think we're ready for the graphics card. And then do a round of cable management, and then we can power this thing up. Alright. Here we have our Hair NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060 with 6 GB of GDDR6. Time is here to unbox it. I've already opened this one. This one I bought a year ago. Here we go. As you can see, we do have, it is in fact a Kayer graphics card. The colors are a bit weird on this. We have the black PCB, and then the front is just this weird tan color. And then we have this side, which won't be visible, but it's got the red and then the purple, and we got the silver heatsink, and this thing sort of looks like a handle. The weird heat pipe right here. But this is why I got that RGB RAM, so that we can match the aesthetic of the graphics card. Gives us a lot more flexibility. Are you gonna in-stream, or are you gonna install Windows and benchmark? I didn't actually bring a monitor out, so the last stream I did, I connected it to a monitor, turned it on, and went into the BIOS, but I didn't install Windows. This time, I'm gonna make it even simpler. All I'm gonna do, plug it into power, and turn it on so we can see the RGB fans. Get running. What is that? Never heard of that brand. Me neither. Yeah. It's an off-brand. But it works. Like, I'm surprised at how well this graphics card actually works. Like, it's actually decent. I've been using this card for like, what, 8 months? On 1440p ultra-wide, and I'm able to get 40 FPS in demanding games. Sometimes like 70 in two-bound games like Fortnite. So it's actually decent. 1440 ultra-wide is closer to 4K, which is insane for an RTX 2060 running. It's way better than you would expect. Must be an off AliExpress or something. Well, no, actually, I got it right from Amazon. I can actually show you the listing. I just got it right on Amazon. It's not available anymore. I think they replaced it with like an RX. Alright, let me show you. So, as you can see, right here we have the Kair Gaming GeForce RTX 66 gig. All this stuff. 4.3 stars, 60 reviews. You can even visit the Kair store. But it is currently unavailable. It's been unavailable for quite a while. But yeah, here it is. And it's on Amazon. Not available anymore. Look at the review. It's works well. 5 stars, right? But yeah, it's definitely a lesser brand than like Asus, MSI, Gigabyte, XF. But it still works. RTX 60. I got it for $200. $199.99. Which is a bit more expensive. Could get the card for used, but for brand new, if you want to get an RTX 2060, it's gonna be way more expensive. I would not recommend getting an RTX new. Get like a 3060, 3050. Yeah, MSI, Ace, XFX, Gigabyte. There's so many other more well known. Did Kair shut down their business? Let's check. I don't think so. Looks like their top card is the Kair AMD Radeon RX 580. Looks like they're still kicking. They're currently unavailable. Currently unavailable. Maybe not. All of the graphics cards are showing currently unavailable. So maybe not actually. Step back. I have no idea. Not on Amazon. Not right now. In theory, there's no reason for these remanufactured GPUs to have to suck. It's just a lot of them do. Yeah. It's just sort of they are. I got lucky with this one. I feel like I got pretty lucky. They probably just need to get more supply. Companies like that get batches of full GPU. Yeah. They just get the GPU 2019 NVIDIA, and then they make their own ads. This one wasn't refurbished, but it is 2019 GPU, 2019 architecture, but brand new. Let's install this thing. Do this thing. Wait a second, I forgot to take out the PCIe brackets. Alright, let's do this. Sliding in. Latch is locked. Alright, now I'm gonna tighten up this bracket. Screw it in the back. Got a thumb screw. And look at that, we can literally lift it up so high. But what I want to do first is actually verify the I/O is lined up properly. Looks like lined up pretty good. Screw that in. Doing the graphic. Alright. GPU is installed. They're technically not refurbs, they're technically remanufactured. They basically take old GPUs and remount them in new PCBs. That makes sense. I'm about to upgrade my 3070. Any recommendations on brand? XFX or Power Color? XFX for aesthetics, but a Power Color Reaper, pretty cheap. If you go XFX, I would say Quicksilver or Swift, whichever is cheaper. Unless you want RGB, then go Mercury. That's pretty high end. Very big. If you want something simpler, I just go Power Color. Or something, another high end brand is Sapphire. About high 97. How much is the cost? This one was $740. Good luck. Oh, good night. Vance. Oreo, good night to you. I want to start a YouTube channel like you. Good luck, yeah. That would be cool. what CPU, and I'm guessing 16 gigs. Yep, 16 gigabytes, 3200 megahertz DDR4, and CPU is Ryzen 5 5500. Including GPU or no? Yes, including the graphics card. All the parts, and then sales tax as well, which was 6.75%. Alright, just do some cable management in the back now. And then we can close it up and fire it up. Alright. I'll probably edit the cable management later, but for now this is probably good enough. Cables into the power supply basement. Alright. How would you rate this little man? You just found a Ryzen 4070 for 90 bucks? No way. I've been the Ryzen. That's incredible. $90 is absolutely insane. Yeah, they just released the Ryzen 5070. Legendary card. Ryzen 40. Alright, let's fire this thing up. The back panel on now. Flip this around. Are we missing anything? Front panel. And be sure that's everything. Let's fire this thing up. What do y'all think about 32 gigabytes of DDR7 9000 megahertz? Oh my word, that's not gonna come out forever. Like AM5 lasts till 2029. So AM7, then 7, PCIe 6.0, DDR7, that's not coming out till at least 2030. And honestly, it's probably going to be more than 9000 megahertz. Probably like, well, maybe starting out it will be 9. The lower cap. But as it will gets more developed, they'll get higher megahertz. NVMe. Got the NVMe. Yep, put in the NVMe. It's the best. Gotta get at least buy. SLI. The Ryzen 4070 has SLI? I didn't know that. It's actually cool. That's actually really cool. The Ryzen 4070 has SLI. Here, 732 gigahertz. Yeah. Gonna be crazy. Can't forget about the DDR0 Giga MSI. 97 DIMM slots. And 10 SSD slots with 5. Wild. I know the Ryzen. Imagine if the boards had cellular data. Alright. Time for the final reveal. If this thing actually works. Nothing happened. On a second. Power supply is on. Power cable's plugged in. Front panel header is on. Yep, power supply is on. We've got the front panel header in. Power. Motherboard power. There's a chance it could be my extension cord. I just got a random extension cord that's been sitting outside in the rain and weather forever. Let me verify that real quick. Okay, let's try this again. Nope. Oh wait, the power supply wasn't on. Okay, power supply is on now. CPU power, motherboard power, fully seated, graphics card power fully. It's in an actually good power strip now. I know it works because I have my own PC. We do in fact have... Oh! I figured it out. It's the front panel header. So I have it one to the right. That's the issue. It's just one to the right. That was the problem all along. Alright. Here we go. It's on. RAM RGB. RGB. Here we go. Not sure why the case fans aren't on. Looks like it's booting. Dude. It works. Go. Okay, I still not sure why the case, like the case fan air. Oh, it works. Fans are blowing. RAM RGB works. W. Yeah, that's going through the post LEDs quite a bit. I'm not sure why the fan ARGB is not on. Here. Yeah. It was just the front panel. Front panel connector. Huh. Still cycling through post. Let's see here. I really want to get these ARGB fans on. I'm confident we can get the ARGB fans to work. Fairly confident we can get. So as you can see right here, this is the daisy chained 3-pin ARGB connector right here. It is plugged in to the header right there. I'm not using a fan hub. They are, in fact, ARGB fans. That's what this is from. Plugged in right here. Looks like it's stuck on the boot LED. That could mean something. Huh. I think the problem might be that it's on boot. Well, if I can't get the RGB fans to work tonight, I will try to make a dedicated aesthetic video for this PC with the actual lights on. All 4 fan RGB. If I can't get it to turn on now, I'll post a video later, an aesthetic video, and I'll probably use that to sell this on Facebook Marketplace as well. Well, as you can see there, it's stuck on the boot post LED. That could have something to do with why the fans aren't working. I'm not entirely sure. Should we go into the BIOS? I need a DisplayPort cable. Actually, I have one right here. Let's go into the BIOS. Wait, I'm gonna use my You know what? I'm just gonna steal the monitor I'm using on my PC right now. Alright, so we're just gonna steal this DisplayPort cable from my I hope that didn't do anything bad. I just heard the music stop. Well, I have to go. I love this PC and hope the RGB turns on, and if it does, could you post it in community post on your channel? You could promo it too. Yeah, alright. I think I'll just have to, I think it has to do with that LED right there. Yeah, I'll definitely make a aesthetic video about this PC, and I'll post it on my channel, so yeah, just make sure to stay tuned so you don't miss that video. I'll make an aesthetic video about this with the fans after I've installed Windows and got it completely configured. But yeah, I guess this will be it for now. Yeah, this was a win though. Got the RGB on the RAM, so that's something good. On in post. See y'all. By the way, what's up? Same. Good build. Good night. I'll probably update motherboard BIOS first. I usually settings. Oh, that might be a problem. I have this motherboard BIOS updated, and I had my 5800. I'll update BIOS stuff. And I'll check settings. Yeah, well, thank you all for joining my live stream today. Live stream number 2. I think that's about everything for this live stream. Be pretty easy. MSI. I'll figure everything out. Make sure it's all ready to go and configured. List this thing on local. And I'll make a video. Go live stream. Thanks. Tech Turf as like a reference and have my own stuff, but alright, well, thanks everyone who joined to my second PC building live stream. YouTube. Thank you all for joining. Successfully built the PC. That's everything for today. Good night. See you in the next video. Bye.